Now that's how you end WrestleMania. That right there is how WrestleMania should end. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Holy shit. I will admit, two nights of WrestleMania was interesting given the circumstances that we have with the crush card pandemic. Yes, I have to say it like that because I am a YuGiTuber and I could potentially get demonetized for saying the real thing. But that being said, yes, the crush card pandemic with the circumstances that we have, WrestleMania took place at the Performance Center in Orlando, and holy shit, what a way to end both nights. What a way to end it. So let's kick it off with yesterday, last night. We start off with the kickoff show. Cesaro went one-on-one with Drew Gulak, tying into the rivalry that Daniel Bryan has with Sami Zayn, which I will talk about that match a little later on. A little later on in the video. It was an incredible matchup between Gulak and Cesaro. Gulak had targeted the shoulders of Cesaro because that's how, because Drew Gulak is a very masterful is a very masterful submissionist, if you will. But of course, in the end, Cesaro hitting Drew Gulak with an airplane spin, not even using his arms to do it, and he still was able to pick up the victory. So, the main card itself kicked off with the women's tag team titles as the Kabuki Warriors defended against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Hell of a matchup. It was very interesting because I kind of figured that Asuka would use the green mist like she attempted to back in January at the Royal Rumble. But you know what? Honestly, she did not. There was no green mist, no nothing. But of course, Nikki Cross hit Kairi Sane. I think she hit Asuka with the Purge and no, Kairi Sane. It was Kairi Sane. Asuka was taken out. So Nikki Cross hit Kairi Sane with the Purge. With the swinging net breaker. I think she calls it the Purge. And then, of course, Alexa Bliss with Twisted Bliss. They picked up the victory and became the new women's tag team champions, now being the only tag team in history to hold the women's tag titles twice. So, big congrats to them. They earned it. Next up, we have Baron Corbin, or King Corbin for the matter, against Elias. We thought that Elias was, we all thought that Corbin was gonna win by forfeit after what Corbin did, but Elias rolled up Baron Corbin, grabbing onto the tights, or rather the belt for that matter, the belt that Corbin wears around his gear, to pick up a victory. This was actually something that Elias needed to do. Given the injuries that he sustained, he had to pick up the quick victory. Next up, then after that, we have Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. Again, this tied in to the fact that Becky Lynch has held the Raw Women's Championship for a year. This day, a year ago on this day, Becky Lynch pinned Ronda Rousey to become both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, which is incredible. And 1 year later, last night, Shayna Baszler had Becky Lynch in the Karafuda clutch. Becky Lynch rolled up Baszler, countering the Karafuda to retain the Raw Women's title. That was a little controversial. I actually took a second look at the end result with during night 2 of WrestleMania. Sorry, I cannot speak tonight. And I noticed something. Shayna's left shoulder was actually up off the mat. Was off the mat. So, I mean, Shayna Baszler might stake claim to it, but you know what? But yeah, it was a very interesting matchup. Give me a second, guys. I'm actually gonna tweet. I'm actually gonna send out a tweet. Talking about the WWE Championship, which I'll talk about later on in the video. Hold on a second. Well, while I'm trying to tweet, alright, while I'm trying to tweet that, so as I said with Cesaro and Gulag, the Intercontinental title was defended. Sami Zayn defended against Daniel Bryan. Pretty interesting matchup. Sami Zayn, tried to bail, try to escape. Um, um, there we are. Sami Zayn tried to escape from Daniel Bryan, but Drew Gulak was able to neutralize both Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro long enough for long enough for Daniel Bryan to get his hands on Sami Zayn. Incredible matchup. Daniel Bryan was this close from winning the title, but of course, Cesaro and Nakamura helped Sami Zayn to retain the title, and yeah, controversial matter. You know what? I want you guys to comment below. Comment below if you guys think Daniel Bryan should have won that match. I want you guys to comment. Because honestly, I feel like as if I feel like as if Daniel Bryan deserved it, because Daniel Bryan, has since he came back to in-ring competition about a couple years ago, Daniel Bryan has become WWE champion, and he's also even attempted to become a SmackDown Tag Team Champion alongside Kane and Team Hell No. So I feel like as if I feel like as if Daniel Bryan should have won that one. There we go. Tweet sent. Anyway, so next up we have the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Originally it was going to be both members of New Day, both of the Usos, and both Miz and Morrison. But because that the Miz was taken out with an injury, it ended up being Jimmy Uso, Kofi Kingston, and John Morrison. And what's interesting about this match is that about the trio was the fact that Morrison and Kofi had at one time had teamed up with one another a couple times in the past, while also at the same time the Usos have also teamed up with Kofi Kingston when Kofi was still a singles competitor. Sorry guys, I overheard something. I thought it was. I feel like it's raining. I feel like it's raining right now. Anyway, it was a very intense matchup. Absolutely incredible. I have no idea how the fuck they got those ladders in the Performance Center, but they did. they got those ladders in. Closing moments of the match. Uso, Kofi, Morrison. They, I think Jimmy Uso unclipped the titles, unclipped the little thing that holds the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and both him and Kofi had their hands on those, but Morrison fell backwards, ripping the titles off, and Miz and Morrison ended up retaining the titles. It's weird because Morrison had let go of the titles the moment his back hit the ladder. So I feel like if the match should have went on. Honestly, that's how I feel anyway. That's just my opinion anyway. Next up, we have Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, and of course, Seth Rollins did get himself disqualified by hitting Kevin Owens with the ring bell, but Kevin Owens was like, nope, no count out, no DQ. It was an incredible match. And from the top of the giant WrestleMania sign, in which I have no idea how the fuck they got the WrestleMania sign inside the Performance Center. That thing's huge. That thing is huge. I have no idea. But hit Seth Rollins with an elbow onto the announce table, and then he hit Rollins with a stunner. And Kevin Owens finally got his WrestleMania moment. Congrats to him. He earned it. So, with this match, originally it was going to be Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. But because of this pandemic, and because that Roman Reigns didn't want to get sick, Roman Reigns was taken out, and Braun Strowman was taken in. It was a fast match. I would say maybe under 3 minutes. Goldberg hit Braun Strowman with like 2, maybe 3 spears, and he was going for a jackhammer, but that did not stop the Monster Among Men, because it took not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 power slams for Braun Strowman to win the WWE Universal title. I was looking at that match like, oh damn. And it's as I said, this ties into the rivalry that he has with Sami Zayn, because we could potentially see Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman duke it out for both titles, which is highly possible. And then, of course, the main event for night 1, anyway, we had The Undertaker against AJ Styles in a Boneyard match. It took me a second to figure it out, but I realized it's basically a buried alive match. That's basically what it was. So AJ Styles has a very unique entrance. I'm not even gonna talk about it because it's just so weird. But Undertaker's entrance comes in a bike on a fucking Harley, and we all know the Undertaker loves his Harleys. We all know. If you guys watched him from 2000 to 2003, he loves his Harleys. He loves them. A pretty good match, actually. Probably the best Boneyard Buried Alive match I've seen ever. Probably the best ever. And it's interesting because the match tied so perfectly with how personal this rivalry was. But of course, in the end, Undertaker kicked Styles in the head with the boot, and he was able to bury him alive, thus winning the Boneyard match, which ended night 1. Now, night 2 started off with the kickoff show. Liv Morgan against Natalya. Incredible matchup, but of course, Liv Morgan rolled up Natalya to pick up the victory. I could definitely see Liv Morgan becoming a women's champion. Speaking of women's champions, we have the night kicks off with the NXT women's title being defended as Rhea Ripley defended against Charlotte Flair. This was an incredible matchup. This was a perfect way to showcase for WWE to have Rhea Ripley show us as the fans how good she really is, and she proved it tonight. But of course, knowing Charlotte Flair, she targeted the knees, and put Rhea Ripley into the figure eight, and Rhea Ripley had no choice but to tap out. So now Charlotte Flair is the second woman in history to become a two-time NXT Women's Champion, which begs the question as to whether or not Charlotte Flair will stay on Raw or go back to NXT. If she does go back to NXT, then she's basically going backwards. She's basically going ass backwards with her career. Next up, we have Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. I just want to say this was on Lana. This was on Lana. So Bobby Lashley, closing moments of the match. This was an incredible match. Don't get me wrong. A lot of these matches were absolutely incredible. This match, Bobby Lashley was about to hit Aleister Black with one of his with what he calls, I think, the Dominator. But Lana was like, spear that bastard. Nope. Black mass to the face. Bobby Lashley took a black mass to the face and a 1, 2, 3. That was it. Bobby Lashley was pissed at Lana. I think it's safe to say that there's going to be a divorce coming. Speaking of relationships, Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. Originally, Mandy Rose was going to be in Dolph's corner. But if you guys saw SmackDown this past Friday, that was brutal. I don't know how Mandy could feel good about herself, honestly. I'm gonna be honest, Sonya Deville ought to be ashamed of herself. And we all know the old expression, payback's a bitch. And Mandy Rose was that bitch, to say the very least, so closing moments of the match, Sonya Deville, so Otis was about to hit Dolph Ziggler with his pendant move called the Caterpillar. Sonya comes up. Dolph Ziggler kicks Otis low. Mandy Rose shows up in her gear, slaps Sonya Deville, attacks her, and then low blows Dolph Ziggler. Otis picks up the victory, and they start kissing. I'm gonna be honest. I think what Sonya did was really fucked up. I know that Dolph had a thing for Mandy, but Otis saw her first, and I could Otis definitely deserved this victory. I know that Tucker was the one wanted to be at ringside with Otis, but that did not come to pass. But Otis did pick up a victory. Shoutouts to him. He earned it. And speaking of very personal, we have Edge versus Randy Orton, last man standing. I never thought I would call an Edge match. Never thought I would ever do that, but I have done that. This match went all over the place, which started... Damn, my knee won't crack. There we go. Which started with Randy Orton dressing up as a cameraman, hitting Edge with an RKO. Orton was in total control of the whole match, but in the end, Edge hit Orton with a spear. He also used that submission hold on Edge on Randy Orton that he used on MVP a few weeks ago. If you guys know the name of that move, comment below, because I am not so sure on that. And then hit Orton with a concerto, and Edge's eyes were tearing up, like he was emotional. And of course, Edge became the last man standing. Next up, we have the Street Profits defending the Raw Tag Titles against Angel Garza, and originally it was going to be the United States Champion Andrade, but due to an injury, Austin Theory became the replacement. Incredible matchup. Street Profits ended up pinning, and actually pinned Austin Theory with what was it that Montez Ford calls it? From the heavens. It's a frog splash that he calls from the heavens to retain the Raw Tag Titles. But of course, all three, Garza, Theory, and Zelina attacked Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Who shows up? None other than the EST of NXT and the wife of Montez Ford, Bianca Belair. And she hits Zelina with the Kiss of Death that she called with her move with her pen of KOD, which stands for the Kiss of Death. And all three stood victorious. Next up, we have the Fatal 5-Way match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Someone, I don't know who the hell did it, but I guess someone leaked the fact that it was supposed to have been Sasha Banks winning the match. That was not the case. So we have Bayley, Lacey Evans, Tamina, Naomi, and Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's title. Fatal 5-Way elimination rules. The eliminations went as follows. It went Tamina, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Lacey Evans. This was an incredible match, an incredible matchup. So many rivalries in this matchup. Obviously Sasha and obviously Evans with with Sasha and Bayley, Tamina with both Naomi and Sasha as part of Team Bad. It was incredible, but of course Sasha actually helped Bayley retain the SmackDown Women's title after she got eliminated, and it looked like Sasha was about to become a babyface. Who knows? But yeah, I think honestly, Sasha Banks should have won that one. Next up, we have a Firefly Funhouse match, which it took me a second to figure it out, but I realized that John Cena was basically reliving his whole career. So I'm not even gonna go into details on it because it's too strange. So closing moments of the match, the Fiend defeated John Cena with a mandible claw pinfall of sorts. It was weird. It was very weird. Next up, we have the main event for the whole show itself, for the whole card itself, the WWE Championship, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre. Incredible matchup. Probably one of the best WWE matches of all time. Even after Drew McIntyre taking several German suplexes and like two, I think like 3 F5s, I think it was, Drew McIntyre still kicked out, and it took not one, not two, not three, but 4 claymores. Okay, Brock Lesnar took 4 claymores to the face. And Drew McIntyre, after 10 years, wins the WWE title. Honestly, it's long overdue. Drew McIntyre deserves it. I would, honestly, I think it would have been better if there were fans inside the building, but it is what it is with the circumstance that we have now. It is what it is. But congratulations to Drew McIntyre. And that is actually going to do it for the results of tonight of WrestleMania that was too big for just one night. Let me know in the comments below, which of these matches were you the most excited for? Because me, honestly, I was more excited about the match between Ripley and Charlotte Flair, and then of course Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. Comment below which match you guys were interested in, and that's gonna do it. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. If we get this channel to 100 subs, I will open this box on the channel. I know it's not first edition, but it's still a very nostalgic set. I will open this up in its entirety on the channel. However, if the channel gets to 200 or more, I'll open this up. Strike a Neos. So yeah. I'm actually expecting my second box of Dual Overload, which I will not open until not tomorrow, but next Monday, but the following Monday. So right around that time, I will be doing that opening. Stay tuned for that. And also too, be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My links are down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me, my address will also be in the description below as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.